Hello, it's Grandpa Hickory. The day I walked off, left my job, left my hobby farm of 3 acres way out in the country with a half-acre garden, a beautiful asparagus bed in the backyard. I had several raised beds. I had my deer hunting tripod set up out back that I climbed up on. It's a tree stand. And I hunted in my backyard. I had 3 acres. I had a lot of deer coming in, and hogs and turkey. And oh, listen, I shot a lot of coyotes when I lived there. But I was really having a tough time. My wife died. We were married 44 years. She had suffered with non-Hodgkin lymphoma for 26 years. And I had a horrible job that I worked at for 35 years, and I was treated so bad. The people there, they were very, very, very ungodly people. But I had to put up with it because my wife had cancer. And see, back then, if you left your job and you went to another company, then her medical condition was listed as a pre-existing condition. And therefore, I would be put in an insurance level that was so high that I could not pay it. So that means my wife would have no insurance. And I wouldn't either. Do you see how they do things in our lives? Friends, I worked my head off in that company. I went through 3 different company changes, and it's in the defense industry. And I was treated like absolute dirt. And you see, the insurance company wanted me out the door. It was Aetna Insurance. And they've been sued so much. But they wanted me gone because my wife cost them millions of dollars. You see, my wife suffered with that cancer for 26 years, as I'm sure a lot of you people possibly going through what I went through and what she went through. Perhaps you have cancer. You understand exactly what I'm saying. And her doctor bills run into the millions of dollars. And Aetna wanted me out of the way, and they even offered my management bonuses and everything to terminate me and put me out of the company. So I had to eat crow. They actually had employees come at me in order to start a fight, and they were videoing the whole thing so that they would have proof of me using force on company property. This is the kind of people that I work for. I even had a manager got in his brand new truck and chased me down Great Southwest Parkway in Grand Prairie, Texas. He was that far from my back bumper, and he had come by the office before I got off work and told me I got a Glock 40 millimeter. If I'd said that, the Grand Prairie Police Department would have took me into custody, and I'd probably still be in jail. But these are the people that I work for. The CEO came out and told everybody, we're going to do something good for the company. We're going to stop all pensions. We will no longer give pensions. And this would save the company lots of money. And she made over $25-35 million a year. And she got a huge $12 million bonus for taking pensions away from all future hirees that came to work for that plant. So you can understand. Friend, the day came when it was time for me to leave. I had to do the work of 5 people. My supervisors were drunks. They were womanizers, adulterers constantly. And The guys I worked with drank with them too, bought them food, bought them drinks, and they'd all go out and drink and all that, but I had to do their job for them. This is what they did to me. Well, let me tell you something. When it came time for me to leave, the head man over all of it come out and talked to me and told me, he said, listen, see, they used a black man against me. And he messed with me like you would not believe. He made my whole life miserable. I was in a tool crib. I got out of that department I was in, which was transportation, and I went to the tool crib, and this black man, he told me, he said, they told me to make it hard on you. They tell me to make it hard on you. And he came after me with everything he had. And I've heard just recently that he's been eaten in half by cancer, is what I'm hearing. You know, you don't mess with a child of God. You don't mess with a widower. God is watching us. I'm not saying you. I'm saying people. Anybody, whoever they are. But that head man came to me, boy, I was down in labor relations. I was checking out. Man, I was leaving that place. I had enough. Boy, he said, wait. I'm going to give you a month off. Take a month's vacation. Get out of here and think about it. I said, oh, okay. Friend of mine, I practiced retirement for a full month. And I got paid every week just like I was in there underneath that black guy that made my life miserable in any way that he could. And he was always hollering about how bad white people are. That's what I went through. Let me tell you something. I went back to labor relations. Boy, he come down there. He said, well, what do you think? And I said, you know, I'm going to tell you something. I have been treated worse than anybody. No person should ever have been treated the way I've been treated. And he nodded his head. And the labor relation was a black girl, and she didn't like white people. I knew all about her. Listen, she caused me so much trouble while I worked there. It was unreal. Now, if you were her color, she took care of you. But if you were Caucasian, nope. We going by the book when it come to you. Doesn't matter that you're innocent. Doesn't matter that everybody's running over you because they want to get rid of you because your wife is dying of cancer and costs the insurance company money. Well, anyway, I looked at him and I told him, I said, sir, I said, I have been treated in a way that no person should ever be treated on the job. He shook his head, yeah. And I said, you know, sir, I had to take it because my wife had to have insurance. If I went somewhere else, they would get us on pre-existing condition, and there would be no way that we would have insurance. And then they would tell me that I make too much money for her to qualify to go to Parkland Hospital and get aid, unless we were minorities. So I had to stay in the company and take that kind of treatment. I said, you know, my wife is deceased now. My wife has died. He said, yeah, I know that. I said, okay. I said, there's no reason for me to stay. I'm going to go ahead and retire. And boy, that black girl, she was over there, huh? And boy, he stood up. He said, you mean you're not going to stay? And he offered me all kinds of things. He was going to fire that black guy. He was going to put me in charge of that department. But let me tell you something, that black man, he had ruined things so bad, inventory-wise and everything in other areas. He had parts mixed in with parts, and you got to go through with a fine microscope to see those part numbers on them little bitty parts. And if you get them mixed up, it causes a serious quality problem. But he didn't care. He said, you think I care? That's what he told me. He said, ask me if I care. That's what he always said to me. And they wanted me to straighten all that mess out. You know what? I didn't want that headache. Would you? So I got up. She sent me down to a different building to meet with some lady. And met with that lady, and she sent me back to, she gave me a little folder, and I took it back to Labor Relations. And that black girl come in there, and she said, you really want to go? I said, yeah. So we did all that, and I got up. She said, you just turn your badge in when you goes out the gate. I said, okay. So I walked on out. I got out there, and I dropped my badge off in that little container they got at the gate. When the turnstiles let me through, I dropped it in. I went out there, I got to my car, and I turned around, and I shook the dust off my boots at that company. And I got in my car, and I've never been back. I'll never, ever go back. That was the day that I walked out, that I left that place. And friends, I have no regrets. I'm sure there's a lot of you going through the same things that I had to go through. You know, I get a lot of comments from you people that are in your 20s and 30s, and you were talking about how that there's no incentives to work for employers, and that's true. That's true. The CEOs make $25, $35, $45, $50 million a year. The managers make $100, $200, $300,000 a year. And then they want you to do the work 3 or 4 people. I encourage all young people to start your own business. Get whatever you can get going. Don't work for these people. And move out of the cities. Get out of these cities. Friends, as soon as I can, I'm going to leave this city. I want to live off grid. That's my prayer. That's my desire. That's my dream. And that's my goal. And with God's help, I'm going to get there. Right now, with this present administration in Washington, D.C., the price of real estate and everything has gone up so high, I can't afford it. I can't afford it. But anyway, that's what I'm working to. And I'm heading that way. The Lord God willing, I'll get there. But listen, please hit the like button. I'm inviting you to subscribe to my channel. And I just wanted you to know the day that I quit and left it all. I'll see you on the next video. You people have a wonderful day. And all you that are struggling on your jobs, you're having trouble, you don't know what to do. Friends, if at all possible, retire and get out of there. If you're old enough. If not, try to start your own little business on the side. And then get out of there and leave them people high and dry. Let those high-paid managers have to get up and do some work. Oh, this is too much. Yeah, but it wasn't for us when we were doing the work, was it? I'm going to tell you something. There are nothing but a bunch of cowards and rascals in management and in high CEO positions throughout the United States of America. You want to know what's wrong with America's industry and everything? It's these people that are up there that should not be there. Just like the ones in Washington, D.C. and our government. Friends, we've got a corrupt government. And you know all these things. Hey, I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now from Texas.